In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my first graders homeschool curriculum picks for the 2019-2020 school year. First off, an old-time favorite, Handwriting Without Tears. She is going to be using the yellow first grade book this year, and or it's called the My Printing book, but if you look up Handwriting Without Tears first grade, this is the book that comes up. I did not buy the teacher's manual this time. I'm just not like super convinced that you need it, but I did buy it last year for the kindergarten one, and I did think it was a blessing to have it. I just didn't find myself opening it every single day. I would just open it every once in a while. So I don't know. It's pretty gentle. I like Handwriting Without Tears, and my kids like never mind doing handwriting. I think it's like just right. It's not too much, not too little. For math this year, she is going to be using Math UC Alpha, and so far so good. She is coming from using Math Lessons for a Living Education level 1, and so you know what, if we get into this and I'm finding that it doesn't really jive with her personality, then we will probably just go back and do Math Lessons for Living Education level 2, because she did fairly well on that last year. But we're gonna give Math UC Alpha a try for her this year and see how she likes it. Okay, so for language arts, I have a couple of things. I'm not doing like a super intense curriculum. We came from doing all about reading, and we're kind of I'm trying to make things just like a little less, just like a little less stuff, you know what I mean? And so far, both my second grader and my first grader have been responding really well and making a lot of progress with what we've been doing. And so I'm just going to show you kind of what we're doing. Yeah. As far as like language arts curriculum goes, we're just going real heavy on Explode the Code. So they are, in these books, they are reading, they're spelling, and I just really like them. And basically they do one page. My first grader does one page per day, or essentially it's just enough work to really do one lesson per week. So typically they're doing one front and back page. Sometimes they're just doing one side. It just kind of depends. But basically they usually start out introducing, in this book, this one's mostly blends. So they start out introducing a blend on the first day. So then the next day, typically they have the word, they copy the word, and then they circle the picture that matches the word. Then on the reverse side, they are typically circling the word that matches the picture. Then the next day, typically, this is a typical lesson every single week, it's fairly predictable, they will have a word bank, and then basically they'll fill in the blank with the word that matches the picture. So same thing, they'll see the word, the picture dress, and then they'll kind of basically sound it out. So they would circle s, and then they would write out the word dress right here. On this page, they're just reading the sentence and then answering yes or no. Is the sentence kind of essentially true or false? Second to last page, they're going to read two sentences and check which sentence matches the picture. And then on the last page, it is essentially a spelling test. So nowhere have I seen this be considered a spelling curriculum. I haven't seen it labeled that way at all. But if you look at other spelling curriculums, there are some that are formatted very similar to this. And so legit, they could say like Explode the Code spelling, and this would be like a spelling curriculum in my opinion. So they would see the picture. So the picture is a drum. They've seen that picture throughout their lessons, and so they would just phonetically sound it out, and write out the word on the line. So for my first grader, I do have a like language arts curriculum. I have basic language skills. You guys, if you've been following me for a little bit, you know that I've done a flip through of this before. And down in the comments of that video, I will link it in the iCards. people were asking, oh, I wanted to know about this. I'm so glad you did a review. Do you like it? And I like replied to almost everyone, no, I don't like it. But context here. I tried to do that with 2 kids at the same time, and I just don't feel like that. I don't really feel like you can do this curriculum with 2 kids at the same time. I kind of feel like this is like a one-on-one experience, you know? Yeah. So we're trying it again, but I also want you guys to keep in mind, like, I think you need to know my intentions. Think you need to hear me for a second. I think anyone who's considering basic language skills really wants language lessons for living education level 1. Like, am I right? Yes. So I feel like this is like the little brainchild. Like, this is like the first little baby that they made with the thought process. And then it eventually developed into, what did I say? Language lessons for living education. Level 1. Did I say that before? Language lessons for living education. That's what we really want. That's what we want, right? And so it's got the flavor of language lessons for living education and math lessons for living education. You can see like the little thought process at work in this. It's not like, you know, it's not all the way there. That's why it's getting redone, you guys. So I do have it. We are going to use it. It is very gentle. It's peaceful. My first grader does not mind this. Now my second grader, who I tried to use this with before, didn't care for it. But my first grader, my middle daughter, doesn't mind it. She thinks it's fine. So we are using it. It's going fine. So this is the like guide. There are worksheets. Oh, can you see that? It's super white. There are worksheets in the back, which you can't see because the light is kind of blinding it out. But it's just kind of like a mix of language arts worksheets. It kind of reminds me of Explode the Code a little bit. And then there's like a My Dictionary pages in the back. Where they're kind of like building their own little dictionary. This is very kind of Charlotte Mason inspired. So let me show you the readers that come with this. But I have done a video on this, you guys, so I'm just going to go quick. So if you want to see like a more thorough flip through, click the video in the iCards. That is where that video will be, and you can really dig into what this is. So this is one of them. So these are made to be read like parent and child together. This is called Not Too Small at All, a Mouse Tale. It's really cute. This one is A Special Door. And then this one's supposed to be like a reward, I think, actually. And then Charlie and Trike in the Grand Canyon Adventure. This book is really beautiful, you guys. It really is. Also, I think that if you're going to be buying anything from Master Books, they have lots and lots of materials about dinosaurs. I think you kind of need to decide like your opinion as a Christian on like when dinosaurs were about on the earth in relation to your Christian faith. Just kind of like look into that, look into their materials, look into what they're saying, look into their beliefs on that. And I'm open-minded to that. So cool. But let me clarify. I have this, but as soon as Language Lessons for Living Education Level 1 is out, you best know that I'm going to buy it. Because that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I really, really want. Okay, so for like legit like readers, like books that she can pull out and we can read together, I have this My First Reading Library. I think my mother-in-law or my mom, I'm not sure, somebody gave this to my kids for Christmas. So both my second grader and my first grader are reading these. Next year my kindergartner will be reading some of these with me, and so I really like these. Okay, if someone, listen, I need more books that are like this, okay? Just listen, I need more. So basically these books up here at the front, they're numbered 1 through 15. And then these orange books are like level 1 books, level 1. And then these purple books are considered level 2 books. So basically the green books, you're gonna read them in order. And they start out with the parents reading quite a bit. So the small print right here, if you can see that, that's what mom, dad, whoever's helping read. This is what the adult reads. And then the large print, that's what the child reads. And I love these because it really helps. Like, have you ever been like sitting with your child and they're reading to you and you find yourself holding your breath? Like, okay, let's keep going. Like, okay, yep, Yep. And you're like, it takes everything inside of you to like be patient and breathe out and not let your child know how frustrating this experience is. You know? Yes? No? Only me? That's not true. So, what I have found a lot of times is if the reader is like too long, because they're taking so much time just to figure out the words and how to read it, that they get to the end of the story and they have like no idea what happened because they're just so focused on trying to read the words. So I like these, and they, you know, obviously they're numbered, so you read them in order and they progressively get more and more challenging until the child is completely reading the books completely on their own. But I like these where the parent and the child are reading together, like taking turns, because I feel like it really keeps the momentum or the flow of the story going. So it keeps them engaged, it keeps them interested. And so I really like these. My kids prefer these way more than like the All About Reading readers. They just prefer these like way more. Not that it's bad curriculum. It's a really great curriculum, you guys, but they just really like these. And so if you guys find any more readers that are like this, please let me know in the comments below. Stalk me on Instagram. I'm at Our Burnt Nest. Is that my name? Might be Autumn Burton. I don't remember. But find me on there. DM me. Go over there and be like, Autumn, send a link to books that are like this, because this is what I need in my life. Together, reading this. I need this. So my girls are basically taking turns reading these books to their dad. Basically one will read on like Monday and Thursday to their dad, and then the other daughter will read on like Tuesday and Friday to their dad. Wait, did I say that right? Also, we will be going to the library, and so they can also pick readers from the library. We have like a young readers section or young readers room, initial readers room. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a room, and like all the books in that room are like labeled and categorized by like reading level, which is fantastic. And so they can go pick, my first grader can go pick a level 1, level 2 book if she gets tired of this stuff, and she can read that to me or her dad for her reader as well. So lastly, because I don't have like a super heavy curriculum load for my kids this year, I got a subscription to timeforlearning.com, and basically we're kind of using that not as their full-time curriculum, but kind of as a, I'm gonna say like as a grout or a crack gap filler. So we're mostly focusing on language arts. So they need to do at least 1 language arts lesson per day before they can do anything else. And honestly, you guys, they're not super motivated by like the playground on Time for Learning. I feel like the like 80s games like Pac-Man and stuff like that stresses them out. It's too mature for them. Not mature like inappropriate, like mature like hand-eye coordination. It stresses them out. They are motivated by the science. They really love the science portion of it, and so they have to do at least language arts lesson before they can do science. And then typically they'll also do a math lesson per day, and then sometimes they do the social studies. I don't love the social studies on there. And it's got some quirks and things that need to be worked out. But that's what my first grader has been doing, because we've already started, you guys. We homeschool year round. School's never over. There's never a stop or a beginning. It just goes on forever and ever without an end. But she's doing Time for Learning in the afternoon after she's gotten all her paperwork done. And it's going really well. I feel like she's made quite a bit of progress, and it's nice to have kind of a different teacher than mom. So yeah, I think it's going pretty good. That is it for my first graders homeschool curriculum for the 2019-2020 school year. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. And subscribe if you're into like homeschool stuff or motherhood stuff. We do all kinds of stuff. We just do whatever we want to do because that's what we like to watch. So we just kind of make the stuff that we like to do and we like to watch. We've been doing some traveling videos, and we have a big trip coming up later in the year. So subscribe if you don't want to miss that, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.